Gaming Guild presents the Nat Pun Podcast.
Good afternoon, good evening, good day. Welcome to the Fireside Chat. I'm joined as always by fabulous Bertie. Say hello, Bertie.
Hello, Bertie.
The wonderful Ash. Say hello, Ash.
Hello, Ash.
And the humorous Andy. Say hello, Alice.
No.
How many words did you go through before you chose humorous?
It took a sec.
It's like a ship's handbrake with a W.
No.
Okay.
No.
Ship's handbrake.
Is there a special name for a ship's handbrake?
It's an anchor.
Been anchor with a W.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Wow. Well, very good start. Cool. So today we're going to have a chat about character creation and go through building a character together. The next big adventure is the Acolyte, which is our campaign day. And as part of that day, our players around the table get to create a character and then play with that character. So there's normally about an hour to go through and create a character, so I thought we'd try and do the same thing as a group
Nice.
and see what we come up with at the end. All up for the challenge?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it. Where do we start? So normally I start with an idea or something that I want to play, a bit of inspiration to kind of set the direction.
A premise.
A premise, thank you.
Maybe think of an idea of like a setting.
Setting.
So like, is it like a medieval time setting? Is it like a jungle adventure? So sometimes that gives you a bit of a fun idea of what you want to go for.
So for the campaign, it's going to be All Havens, be the main kind of setting. Let's go for jungle.
Nice.
But would you necessarily know what the setting is going to be? If you were just making a character to play in a game, would you always know where that game is going to be based?
But that's not the aim. It's just to give you an idea of some flavour. So you might be in the campaign, not be set in the jungle, but if you're creating something based on just the ideas of the jungle to give you some flavour.
I feel like your inspiration is Tarzan at the moment.
Yeah.
That's what I'm aiming for.
Oh, I'm more George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle.
Oh, yes.
Is that what we're going to create?
I think that's really
George of the Jungle.
It's the
We'll go
off-brand
George of the Jungle.
George the Jungle / Tarzan, maybe?
Yeah.
Like somewhere in amongst that.
It's the Tesco value Tarzan is George of the Jungle.
Tarzan from Wish.
Yeah.
George. Trees.
Right, so is that what we're going for? Is that
Doing it.
our premise?
We're doing
George of the Jungle / Tarzan.
Yeah.
And for our listeners, we genuinely did not discuss this before. We just clicked that record button.
No.
I only told them 2 seconds before we press record what we were doing, so. Cool. George of the Jungle / Tarzan. Okey-dokey. So the next thing, kind of in the process as recommended by the class handbook, is choosing a class. What do we think?
I think we could look at some kind of splice or mixture maybe between ranger and monk.
Yes. Yeah. I was thinking monkey. Because monkey.
They're both, so multi-classing can be a headache, right?
Mhm.
But they've got a shared class, which is dexterity and wisdom, facts. They're their primary stats for each of them. So they gel nicely as multi-class combination.
Very true.
And you've got like the movement of the monk and the deftness of the monk for Tarzan, but then the knowledge of the jungle area for the ranger side.
On the flip side to that, just because George of the Jungle was also thrown out there as
Yes.
inspiration, intelligence is not particularly high, nor is wisdom really.
No.
But he is quite strong, swings from trees, athletic, could go barbarian.
You could go barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Andy?
So I was sidetracked with trying to order poo socks.
Oh.
Yeah, Yeah, I take on board what you're saying. I think, I mean, whether or not you could say that a Tarzan-esque character lacks wisdom, I'm not sure, because it could be a natural wisdom born out of surviving in a jungle alone for all those years.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other classes that we think could be applicable?
Could look at druids, although obviously Tarzan and George of La Jungle doesn't actually shapeshift. It does adopt the sort of characteristics of the animals of the jungle, which is kind of maybe that could lean into a wild shape as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're doing this just as a premise or an idea. So if you did go down the druid route, you could still do it, even though your idea doesn't do it. It doesn't preclude you from doing it. It's all, does it?
No, very true.
I mean, this is far more detailed than I would have ever wanted to create one of my characters.
That's why we're running the session, for people just like you.
I just, that's pretty. Oh yeah, that's good.
That's funny. If we did it how we all probably normally do it, this would be a 5-minute episode. Done. We're just trying to give people some flavour.
So with the different classes we've discussed them, so monk seems like a logical one to me, doesn't it? Really, it's that dex, wisdom, being able to climb trees with no effort. And ranger, like you said, that multi-class aspect seems fairly logical. Any pros or cons to that you guys can see?
Yeah, so the ranger, excuse me, the ranger has fighting styles, doesn't it? I'm just got a player handbook in front of me. I'm just going to flip through the ranger section. If you'll follow along at home, it is on a page, the number of which is not 79. I'm turning the page loudly so our listeners have something to listen to.
No, you're not just flapping an A4 sheet of paper around to make it sound like that.
Right, here we are. Here we are.
What pages?
Oh yes, the page. 119. In the 2024 by handbook, which is important to note that we're doing this 2024 rules,
Yeah.
not our 2014 rules. Fighting style. I just have to flip to chapter 5 for the fighting styles.
Which is on the page.
How true are we keeping to a background story of either Tarzan or
I don't think it has to be that true to it. That's our premise, isn't it? It's something that feels a bit like that.
I'm thinking if they were
You don't want it to be
completely
exact,
raised
but-
from a small infant up to adulthood and all they had for company and the experience was living with the animals, I'm not sure, and I may be wrong, but I'm not sure they would necessarily have thoughts to develop like bows and arrows. You know, a pointy stick to stab things with, yes, but bows and arrows perhaps would be beyond what their experience would have taught them to create.
So in terms of that feel for the character, we're looking at unarmed, maybe a spear and can think as a wooden spear, a dagger which is a lion's tooth, something like that as a sort of a thematic.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with fighting styles as well. So some fighting styles, like dueling or great weapon fighting, would not mix with our concept, which is exactly what you're saying, Andy, isn't it? Some of them might. I mean, like, you've got things like blind fighting as a fighting style.
Great weapon could be a giant club though.
It could be, yeah.
So it depends on what we're...
Elephant's bone.
Elephant Bone Club.
Us.
Mm-hmm.
I've created my own offshoot of the blind fighting, and it's the blind drunk fighting. I think that's fantastic.
Well, you just end up punching yourself in the face because you missed so badly. Yeah. But I think also that's how it works well with the druid and the idea that it would be more like where you're saying if you'd not been near society, you'd be more nature-based and know. Because to me, a ranger is someone who's who's come from a town and has had to learn how to live in the wilds to kind of get used to that and be able to guide other people to be specifically good at that. Whereas druid feels like a more natural, you've grown up in it and that's how you develop through life. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun to think about it, isn't it?
So I think druid, but again, if we were looking at multi-classing, monk and druid also share that wisdom kind of in common. If we're thinking multi-class.
Let's do it. Let's multi-class.
Let's start, yeah. Do we start with a monk and get a few levels under our belt with monk and then work out what multi-class gives us the best flavour from there?
Yes.
I think so.
It's when, if you were to play the character organically from level 1, you obviously wouldn't start at multi-class. You'd have to start with monk or druid, for example. So if we build it up from the ground up, maybe start with monk as our base, knowing where we're going to go with it.
I feel like that also leads into backstory, because monk is more physically able, isn't it? And then as they get high level, they get more of that kind of wisdom ability, and then you're stepping into that kind of druids. That leads to interesting backstory questions about how, does it start on physical because I'm in the jungle?
Well, you learn to walk before you learn to make medicines.
Yeah, basically. I think you're looking for
Yeah, I mean, and again, this may be purely from a lack of experience of ever playing a monk, but from a monk's sort of origin, are they not taught what they're taught through some association with a temple or a brotherhood of other monks or whatever? Would it naturally, I mean, to me, it just feels more natural that if you're in nature, you would have an affinity with nature, as in a druid, before you would perhaps learn. I mean, again, not having played a monk, I don't know whether there is an option or a route that you could take where becoming a monk first would be the natural step.
If it's the physicality side, I mean, if like you're saying, being raised by apes, that's the kind of where it comes from, because they're going to be the ones that teach you how to move and teach you how to fight and swing through the trees and stuff. So it's not religion, but your temple, so to speak. They are the teachers who are teaching that way to you, which would be slightly outside of the norm for. I'm assuming here because we could go for a race that is a monkey. I don't know if that exists. That would be awesome if it did.
I see what you're saying, though, because is the druid the origin? Like, the origin of our character? Is our character because of that physicality, or do they have that physicality because they've been dropped in nature? So actually, is the druid... I'm using druid because I'm on the druid page. Is the druid our first choice, because you have to have that nature part first of all, and then that's when the family of apes comes in and teaches you how to swing from trees and communicate and all that stuff. But does then the monk come in later on?
What are maybe we can have a look at the skill proficiencies of the two classes and see which one makes sense to go first. So I've got the monk page open, which is page 101 in the new player's handbook. And there's sort of starting skill proficiencies are acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, or stealth. So some of those, history, religion, insight possibly requires being around, like say, people or culture of some sort. What's on the druid's explanation?
So the druid one, which is page 79, is choose two from Arcana, Animal Handling, Insight, Medicine, Nature, Perception, Religion, or Survival.
So that actually says more Lost in the Wilds, I think, as the starting point.
Yeah, survival, particularly from my perspective.
Yeah. They're more like things you could just pick up naturally, aren't they, rather than have to be taught them.
And possibly animal handling, given that's the only company that they've actually had experience.
Bang. Druid, starting class.
Starting level 1 druid.
And just a note to the listeners, this is a super in-depth way of creating a character. If you're new to D&D, please don't be overwhelmed. Please don't be feared that you have to go into this. We're just trying to make it a content episode.
In the real world, the time it's taken us to get this far, I would have created my character, played it, and been killed.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true. And there's 4 of us.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 brains here.
Yeah,
Normally you
true.
do just use 1.
3.5.
Well, I know.
There's much more discussion,
We,
isn't there?
we do count it as 1.
I didn't imply who was the hard pain.
Yeah, there's going to be much more discussion with 4 of us chucking in ideas. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can bounce off each other.
But I still think subconsciously most people approach it with the same sort of thing. It's like, oh, I watched that thing the other week on telly and that was quite a cool character, I want to build that.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily massively involved.
It works with anything as well, doesn't it? It doesn't have to be a character you've seen, it could be a piece of artwork you've seen, or a model you've seen that you like the look of that you want to use.
I feel like that's where your character creation comes from a lot of the time, Andy. It's like, I've got this model, I want to use it.
Yeah.
Like, as simple as that. Cool. So, level 1 druid, starting to work up from there.
Mm-hmm.
What level are we going to?
Maybe like 5. We don't have to go too far.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
around
5.
5 you get some.
5 will give us a subclass at level 3. Level 3 for Jude, yeah. And then also we then got the room to multiclass beyond that as well, haven't we? It's nice.
Cool.
Nice.
So, we will. Should we do stats first and then come back to do class abilities in case that changes?
We decided on a race yet? Do we do that now or do we do it later?
So, in the new player's handbook, they say do that later.
Mm.
It's
Mhm.
class, then background, I think, isn't it? And then species, if I remember rightly. Good enough to look.
I don't know, let's have a look.
Yeah, in 2014, weren't they referenced as race rather than species?
Yeah, so they changed.
change?
Yes, they changed it from race to species for inclusivity, I think, and making sure we don't exclude certain people or things. It makes absolutely no difference in terms of what's in the book. Just different way.
So I suppose because a species covers like animals if you're playing an animal, whereas you don't have a race of duck people currently. So species
Not
is a
that
bit
you're
more.
aware of.
Well, no, that's true. There could be anything around these parts.
We mad-eyed people.
Araquat. Can't know his next character.
Oh my gosh, yeah, please.
That's how parrots are made, friends.
Scrap it all, let's go straight to the duck. Okay, so you think it's brown today?
So the order that the player's handbook recommends is choose your class first, then determine your origin, so your background elements and species. Then determine your ability scores, choose your alignment and fill in your backstory, ability levels, etc.
Okay.
So, origins. So a quick look. So in 2024, your background gives you a lot more, gives you ability score, buffs and bonuses, which used to come from a race prior, and just skimming the book.
The character class section is massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just trying to get through it to get to the next part.
Don't forget, there's a really great glossary at the back of this book in comparison to the previous version.
That's true. It is a good glossary.
That's a good glossary.
There we go.
Page 177 for character origins.
So there are 16 origins.
Oh.
So we have acolyte, artisan, charlatan, criminal, entertainer, farmer, guard, guide, hermit, merchant, noble, sage, sailor, scribe, soldier, and wayfarer.
Do we know how many there were previously? Is that the same amount? Have we got more? Less? I think that's more. Or maybe
Feels
slightly
like-
different.
I think it's more from player handbook to player handbook.
Mm-hmm.
We think we've got a couple of other little bits and pieces in other books as well.
Okay.
Whereas now we just got more initially from the get-go.
Nice.
Nice.
So, what's your thoughts on how we navigate this big list of backgrounds?
There's two ways of doing it, isn't there? You either read what it says and see if that applies to your character or not, or you pick one that you like the ability scores, feat, skill proficiency, tool proficiency, and equipment for, and then tailor it to meet what you need it to meet. So although it says sage, if the stuff you get from a sage fits a different background, but if that's what you want to use, then use sage and reflavour it.
There is also a third option on how to pick. You just look at the pictures above them and go by those.
Yeah, the other thing with equipment though is it can be dropped. You don't have to take the equipment.
Yes, correct.
Nice.
You can replace it with gold. I think.
Yeah, there's the option. So it's like the noble here is either a gaming set, fine clothes, perfume, 29 gold, or 50 gold pieces.
Okay.
So you just take the gold and buy your own equipment later on if you want to.
If you were a sage, would that make you a herb, Igor?
Did you roll a natural one? Did you roll a natural one?
It was
You
allowed.
could have saved that and put that in the Discord.
Oh.
Well, I'm thinking for flavour, the one that makes more sense to me would be a hermit. Because if you spent your entire life kind of isolated away from other sentient life forms.
I mean, that is what it says as well in Hermit, is you spend your early years secluded in a hut or monastery located well beyond the outskirts of the nearest settlement. Or hut or monastery, just replace that with jungle.
Tree house.
Tree house. A tree monastery.
Yeah, you get it. So either that, don't you? It's a religion. The other one that might be applicable would be guide. Not in the traditional sense, but in terms of it gives you magic initiative, druid, stealth, and survival as your skills. Also, it gives you proficiency with cartographer's tools, so you'd have to create maps on bark or something like that to navigate the jungle. But could be an option as well.
I would lean more towards Hermit than I would guide. And the only reason is the feat.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get as much out of the feat for a guide with a druid character.
And when Ash says feat, he means F-E-A-T.
Yes.
Which are in chapter 5. Yes. Cool. We'll go for Hermit.
We go Hermit. Not sure. We also then just take the gold. Because although you're not going to have gold, we can then use that gold to buy weapons, which we can then reflavour as flint, spear, or whatever we want to do.
Makes sense.
I would say so. What's the gold we still got to pay?
50 gold. 50 gold pieces. And for anyone who doesn't know, that's a lot of money.
Especially for a hermit.
That's 500 silver.
5,000 copper.
5 million seashells. You never know, it could be the currency of the jungle.
Because jungles are always next to the sea.
Snail shells, then, I'm sorry.
It's a mangrove forest.
Yeah.
It's a mangrove jungle. It wasn't raised by apes, it was dolphins.
Yeah. It was a port. Or a manatee. So what it just floats around all day, that's his movement. He's a monk, but he's really clever.
Cool. Okay, so we're going to go hermit then. We'll take the dolphin hermit. Species choice.
Species time!
How many species are there?
Favourite.
I was going to find the page for Araquaqua. Would you like to list the species? Shall I go through them?
Oh, please.
Asimar, Dragonborn, Dwarf, Elf, War Elf, Gnome, Goliath, Halfling, Human, Orc, Tiefling,
I mean, realistically, it could be any of those. There's no restriction because anyone could have been lost in the jungle.
Oh my God. What is it? Oh dear. What if he's a tiefling that was cast out from his settlement because he was different? He was born to human parents and a tiefling. Because he was a tiefling, they just chucked him in the jungle.
Because he's got no tail. Because tieflings have tails, don't they?
Yeah.
So he's got no tail. So they're like, ew, he's weird. He's got no tail. Or he had 2 tails. 4 tails. So many tails. He's a 9 tails tiefling.
We don't know.
That's how I can swing through the trees.
Yeah.
So many times.
Well, there's a ringtail,
Yeah.
like a ringtail.
It's like Dr. Octopus. Grabbing stuff.
It's interesting.
Is that the only number of species they've got in the original book? Or 2024 book?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there are more coming.
Oh, so they're bringing more.
Yes, yeah, there are more are on their way. So the Artificer class, that's now up for pre-order as of the time of recording. I don't know
Yeah,
whether
that's class, not species.
Yeah, it's a similar kind of concept. They'll release more in later books as update them, but you can use the species from previous books still. So you're like your Goliath and stuff like that,
Right, okay.
and your Kalashtar, for example.
I think I made a, because I haven't played a month before. I think I did play one online game, but he did so poorly. Watching, and he was a turtle.
Love a turtle.
So going into his shell, 25 art class. But he spoke very much like this.
That always seems to be the go-to for the tool.
Yeah.
So tiefling. Any other options? Any other suggestions for species?
I like tiefling. I think it's...
Any other topics?
I think Bert's right. I think any of these could. I mean, I'm leaning towards a dwarf, but for no other reason than I just think it's funny the idea of a dwarf swinging through the trees.
In a loincloth.
Yeah.
It's a female dwarf, but it's just all hair.
Doesn't need a loincloth if it's a dwarf.
Yeah.
Just use a beard.
For modesty.
Yeah, her beard.
But if it's a female, she wants to accessorise some way.
I see.
Again, in the D&D world, often in some fantasy realms, female dwarves have beards as well. Is that the same as in D&D?
There's some lovely photographs.
I took this one on my last holiday. I went to the Dwarf Island. And there was some tortoise and some tieflings.
Lovely seashells.
There's a wedding.
In the artwork, the female dwarves do not have beards. However, I like to think they shave.
I played a female dwarf and I had a nice beard that I'd kind of plaited down to attach into my hair. So it kind of all joined up in a very nice doohickey look. My head hair, Andy, my head hair.
Ducked him by.
Didn't say anything.
It's always you, Jenna.
Yeah, tiefling's cool because it makes sense.
I think it also gives a little bit of explanation to the magic side of things as well, because
Yes.
it's more naturally built in, I
Yeah.
suppose, to tiefling than it is other species.
And also, tieflings tend to be like infernally based, and it's nice to have the chance for them to have an excuse to get away from that and be more nature based.
I guess, again, I may be overthinking this, but possibly because of the appearance of tieflings, so having tail and horns, it would make them look more like an animal, and therefore they'd be accepted more so by the wildlife in the jungle.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Tiefling it is.
Tiefling it is.
Terry the Tiefling.
Terry?
No, I just threw that over.
So we got a
Modern.
tiefling hermit with druid to start, so multi-class new to monk as we level up,
Yeah.
with 50 gold pieces of jungle rock instead of gold, or something to spend on stuff later so far.
Yes, but the currency in that jungle is lima poo.
It's square shaped.
No, you're not square shaped one back please.
It's wonderful coffee.
Yeah.
Currency of the jungle.
Yeah.
Stats next, I reckon.
Stats.
Get some dice out.
Oh, we're going to do it this way,
We'll
aren't
do
we?
it this way.
Hi.
I've only got one set of dice.
I haven't got mine either.
Got some D6s in.
I have some, but I don't know if any of you want my dice.
Oh, I'll touch your fucking dice.
You might make a look soon. But no.
Or they might curse me forever.
There's lots of playing going on, and people won't bring up our dice bombs.
Just put them
Perhaps should have pre-warned before.
Would not just be 6s.
Yeah, you see 3 D6s. Well, 4 D6s.
And
Oh.
Andy's got it covered.
Oh, thanks, Andy. Can't deal with John's bloody dice.
Right, there's a. Oh wait, we'll get this sorted. You
I
can
like these ones. They're nice.
Denari's.
Hmm.
Not bad, I went there complete too.
Should we share?
Yeah, we'll share.
How many do I need, sorry?
4.
4?
4.
46.
6?
46. That's your.
Oh, so it's worth mentioning. It's worth. My bar. It's worth mentioning that you should speak to the DM before you do your stats, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because your DM may ask you to do standard array or point by, which is more standard ways of doing it that don't require a dice roll.
I thought this would be more fun.
This is more fun,
Absolutely.
and this is the original way.
Yeah.
The way the game was designed to be done.
So we're going to roll. We're going to take. There's 6 stats. There's 3 of you, so you're going to roll twice.
Okay.
You roll 3 dice, and it should be 4 dice, and you drop the lowest. And
4 drop lowest. Yeah.
4 drop the lowest, and add the rest up. I'm going to be a nice if I was a GM and let you re-roll your lowest one. Re-roll all the scores.
Generous dungeon
I
master.
am.
I would have been the
I'm a
opposite of
killer.
that. I would have forced you to roll the highest
We
one.
roll it high one. Yeah.
Beth, would you like to start the rolling?
Okay. I remember rolling for a character before, and I did the 4 dice and I just didn't drop any.
Wow.
So my stats are amazing.
Nice.
Dong. Right, so we've got a 6, a 5, 5, and a 2, so that would be 16.
Nice start. Ash?
Oh yeah. A 6, a 6, a 5, and a 3. 17.
17.
I think.
Yes.
Thank you.
Andy.
Where we get the puns out.
4 ones.
6, 4, 2, and 1. So 11. 12.
12.
That's a 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a 6. Oh, that disappointed.
Back to you, Berkeley.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Are they your dice or your teeth?
I'm nervous. 4, 3, 2, and a 1. So that was.
9.
Ooh. Ooh. You've got to have a damp stat.
He did that 3-roll one though, didn't he?
It's good to have that.
We roll 2.
No.
11.
11?
5, 4, 2, 2.
That's what I was.
When you spied.
Wow.
Good.
6,
That's-
5, 5, 5.
It's 16 again.
Very nice.
30, you rolled a 9. That's the lowest. Do you want to re-roll it?
Sure. If you want. I think sometimes it's good to have bad stats. A 6, 6, and 2 3s. So whatever that is.
Wow. So your array to start with is 16, 17. I'll put them in order. 17, 16, 16, 15, 12, and 11.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. All positive modifiers.
Absolutely.
Cool. So, given that we get some other bonuses though, don't we, from class or background, never remember which.
Yes.
Yes.
We're druid, aren't we?
Yeah, druid. You can do +1, so you can do +1 and a +2. To 2 different stats as well, which will come from the druid class.
Well, actually in the druid class. The general.
Well, it was restricted by class.
So did I.
I feel sorry for all the people who are listening that are learnt the book backwards and forwards and they're shouting at them.
I will cut this out so we
Yeah, we sound them.
sound more intelligent than we
It's going to be
were.
seamless.
Is it just from background now?
It comes from background. It does.
Yeah.
So our hermit background gives us constitution, wisdom, and charisma. The person who never speaks to anyone. So we can choose to put +1 or +2 into those abilities as well. So where are we allocating stats then?
But I don't think we're allocating anything to charisma, are we?
That would make sense.
So does charisma become our lowest?
What skills does charisma fall into? What does it help with?
Persuasion,
Persuasion,
deception,
Just those three? Okay.
insight. No, insight's interesting.
Yeah, persuasion, performance, intimidation, deception.
So we're thinking charisma is going to be your dump stat of 11.
I mean, yeah, still not bad.
I mean,
but,
if you could dump stat as an 11, you're
Yeah.
doing alright.
yeah.
Okay. So you got 11 in charisma.
I reckon your con is going to be pretty high because you've grown up getting bitten by snakes and eating the wrong berries and you've survived.
Do you want to put your top one in con, do you reckon?
Doesn't have to be top, I'm just saying it should be.
Your
Yeah,
top
high
three
one.
is 17, 16, 16.
Oh,
16 of it?
I think it's 16 con. I think it's 17 wisdom.
Wisdom rather than strength. And you spend all your time climbing trees, leaping from tree to tree.
Yeah, that's true. Thinking about the future, what we're going to do with the class as well.
So just in terms of the stats, so you got, if you did a 17 in wisdom, 16 in con, that would leave you a 16, a 15, and a 12 for strength, dex, and intelligence.
intelligence would probably sit at the 12, I reckon. Because you might be smart, but you're not like book smart, you're not worldly smart,
Yeah.
so.
Lights.
Yeah, maybe we put the 17 into strengths.
17 into strength, which gives you
Two
a
16.
16 and a 15 to play with.
And we've got dex and con.
Dex and wisdom.
Oh, dex and wisdom.
Dex probably would be pretty high because again it's the balancing if you're walking along wood and
Mhm.
getting out of the way of an animal that's attacking you and stuff. So
Yeah, I agree. 16 for dex.
16 for dex and 15 for wisdom.
which is still a good score.
And then you've got a +1 and a +2 that you can put into constitution, wisdom, or charisma.
So there's two ways of doing this. You can either do it flavourfully, or you can look at it mechanically. So because there's no point in putting a +1 into a stat if it's not going to push you up into the next bracket, or if you're not going to use your abilities for improvements, let's say level 4, to get over into the next bracket.
Well, the way
So-
we've got it, if you put the 1 in wisdom, it would take us up a bracket, and the 2 in con, it would take us up a bracket.
So I think that's the way to do it, to get the most value out of those stat increases.
And for people who aren't sure what we're referring to, your modifiers that you get, which you add to your skills, have a number, but you only go up in that number when you reach an even on your ability scores. So on a 15, you would have the same score as if you're on a 14. But if you go up to a 16, you go up a bracket. That's where we're talking about adding those numbers.
Quick little calculation as well, you take 10 off the score and divide it by 2.
You've lost me.
So if you have a 12,
Yeah.
take 10 off is 2,
Mhm.
divided by 2 is 1, it's +1.
Nice.
So that would give you just on the pluses. So in strength, you've got 17 with a +3, dex a 16 with a +3, con a 17 with a +3, intelligence a 12 with a +1, wisdom 16 with a +3, charisma 11.
My god. That's an amazing stat block.
That is very good.
So it's
For a level
One.
1 character, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And this is why some DMs don't let you roll, because this can happen, but it also can happen the other way around as well. So you can end up just tanking the stats completely.
I also think it was interesting listening to you guys choose where to allocate those. You didn't put your high numbers in wisdom, even though you knew you were a druid. Like, it was like, actually, that doesn't make sense for the character. Let's put that into strength. And if wisdom was low, I think all of you would have just gone, all right, he's not that good a druid, but.
I have a question based off the back of that. For you guys, when you're thinking about this, are you thinking about creating this character for a one-shot or for a campaign?
Yeah, that's a good point. Makes a big difference.
Because I'm thinking about it as a campaign. It's this character that's going to be long-standing, develop over time.
For me, it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
I'm still. You've seen how my dice roll anyway. So it does change a little bit, but I tend to go with whatever I think will be fun to play.
Okay.
So I quite like having dumb stats. Like under 10, I'm quite happy with -1s to things. It won't stop me trying it in game at all. And when it succeeds, it's amazing. With my dice roll with minuses, and that 20 on a -1, with one roll over, I'm well happy.
I'm different. So for a campaign character, for me, I will try and lean into what that character's supposed to do. If you're playing, for me, if you're playing a longer term campaign and I can't do what I should be able to do as a cleric, for example, that's going to frustrate me longer term. So I will try and lean into those scores. So in this situation, we're kind of lucky because we've got all these really high stats. We've not got to worry about that. Because we can still have a nice high wisdom. What's our wisdom? Like 15, 16?
Wisdom is 16.
16, like, that's really high for a level 1 character. So we haven't got to worry about that too much. If this was a campaign character I was using standard array, wisdom would be my top score. Because that's my primary stat, my druid.
Yeah.
And any thoughts?
Yeah, I think I've got to admit I hadn't actually given it any thought until you mentioned it, and I think think it through. If it was going to be a campaign, I would probably go with the flavour of the character in the background, working on the principle that as a campaign and working with other adventurers, I could learn things and I could improve the sort of attributes that are lacking to become better in my field within my class. But as a one shot, as I say, you know, when it's an option you want to at least be helpful to the rest of your adventurers, you probably would kind of think about how the attributes affect your performance on that one day more so than the background.
So a few different takes there on how you allocate stats and what you do. It's interesting.
But I would love to actually play a game where you actually, I've never done anything other than the standard array in all the games I've ever played. Because I'm confident I would get 18, 18, 18 right across the board.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Absolutely, yeah. You could do that with your players on the campaign day.
Oh no, I want to do it for me as a player, not.
Oh, right.
I don't make it harder for me as a DM.
I'll tell you what, when we do campaign 2 of the podcast, we'll generate characters together.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Have an episode with that. That would be fun.
Episode 0. Cool. So, we now have a set of stats. We've got backgrounds, got species, and we're at level 1. Need to work out hit points. But, not going to roll for that. Just assume average hit points. That's fine.
You would roll level 1 anyway, would you?
Yeah, you take the 8.
Yeah.
That's cool, whatever it is. So, what would we take as a level 1 druid that fits our theme in terms of abilities, spells, possibly? That sort of stuff. Any other thoughts?
I'll probably have more thoughts once Ash reaches the right page.
I'm on the right page. It's page 79. There you go. Well, I haven't said that if we look at the spells in so different place anyway.
Yeah. You get your spell list then.
How are we doing this? Are we going to do like the options from the features table first?
Yeah, let's do options from the features table first.
So like a primal order.
Just like that. Apologies for the rustling. You can get spell. Okay, so at level 1, we've got a efficiency bonus of +2. Class features spellcasting, primal order, and druid. So Primal Aura has a choice, I believe.
Yeah, so you got a choice between a magician and a warden.
Just based on names, Warden instantly sounds more like what it is, but
That's interesting because it's to me. I was like, the warden. That sounds it, but actually, reading it, magician makes more sense.
Yep. Completely agree.
just elaborate on that, Percy.
So, if you were to go for warden, warden says, train for battle. You gain proficiency with martial weapons and training with medium armor. However, magician, you know one extra cantrip from the druid spell list. In addition, your mystical connection to nature gives you a bonus to your intelligence, arcana or nature checks. The bonus equals your wisdom modifier, minimum bonus of +1. So actually, that makes more sense that your connection to nature, which you would have in that situation, gives you a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
I would 100% agree with that. That is the choices, I think, at level 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it would be spells. I'm not going to go through picking cantrips and things like that, but just as a general theme, if we're looking at druid spells, what sort of spells would we be looking for based on our kind of practice? Is there anything?
Animal friendship.
Animal friendship.
Oh, yeah.
So we'd be looking at animal-related spells.
You can even like talk with plants and animals.
Mm-hmm.
It's called talk with, talk to, talk at.
Chat.
Chat to.
I feel
Average
like
chat.
something like Vine Whip,
Yeah.
because then you could use it to swing through the jungle as a
Very Tarzan-y.
yeah, very Tarzan-y.
Are there new spells in the book, or is it the same spells as before, reflavoured?
There are new ones.
And the old ones, some of them had tweaks and changes.
Some of them have changed completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sleep is a good idea.
Yes,
It's
completely rewrite.
So, okay, cool. So we then, if we go into level 5, so we come up to level 2 choices. Are we sticking with Druid to level 3? And then
I think so, because that'll give us our subclass then, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, make it interesting.
Yeah.
So level 2 choices class features at level 2 for the Druid are Wild Shape, or Wild Companion and Wild Companion. Okay, so Wild Shape is wild shaped. You get the ability to obviously transform into other creatures. Typically, if I was to create a character, I'd make a note of these at this point as well, like what theme do I want. So I'm playing a druid in Stu's campaign, and this from the artist deep names, which was all spiders and bats and things like that, like stuff that would be in caves. What do we think for?
I have a question regarding that. So when it comes to choosing your wild shapes, how do you pick them and where do you find that information from? Is it in this book or is it in a different book?
It is in this book. It's
Okay.
Appendix B.
Okay.
In the back of the book.
Yeah, the pebble with beastie blocks.
Was that in the previous book?
There were some in there, but I think for the higher level wild shapes, you had to rely on the DM,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, there's nothing that says you have to use the ones in the back of the player's handbook. You know, you can read the monster manual to get them as well. You've got access to the monster manual. But I think the idea is that the most common ones are in the back of the book. So we get up to 4 forms that we would know, and with a max CR of a quarter.
They can't
And
fly
they can't
either,
fly,
can
no
they?
fly speeds and limitations. You can't be a raven or something like that.
I guess things like spiders, snakes,
No.
Baboon might be in the back,
baboon.
monkey, something like that, which would fit our theme.
Yeah. A wombat.
Attack badger. It's always
Oh, yeah, honey badgers.
Mm-hmm.
A warthog.
Owl bear. Too high CR.
too
Too
high
high
CR, too
CR.
high CR.
But would there be what if it's a baby?
Baby owl bear.
So 8 is actually not, so we can do 8 because that's CR half at the moment. We'd have to
Oh,
wait.
okay.
So we wouldn't be able to do 8 until level 4.
So what would be some options that we have at this time?
So just skimming through Appendix B, Badger, 4, Camel.
Camel? Nice. It's just
Oh my god, for a druid ever, I'm going to wild shape into it. Camel.
yeah.
Constrictor Snake, would be one.
Yeah.
Crabs,
Crocodile.
the animal.
No,
No, crocodile's the R1.
Ooh.
And is
Monkey.
there a limitation on swim for this one?
No limitations.
So it's just fly. Okay.
I think there used to be a limitation on
I
something
thought
there.
so.
Elk or deer, I suppose you could flavour it as a deer. Frog, various things. Giant badger,
Wow, a giant badger.
giant crab, giant goat, giants. No, you can't be a giant seahorse, that's too pokey.
So you can be a giant constrictor snake, but not a giant seahorse.
Absolutely. Giant weasel.
You could
So you've got
You
regular
could turn into a beaver, chew
Oh.
trees down to make your house.
There's some good options there.
There are some good options.
Okay.
Mule.
And do you just so it's we're quite far enough away from the mic. People do not hear that you just wanted to say the word beaver.
Which, what I want to know, Andy, is which stat lock would you use for a beaver? I don't think there's an official beaver stat lock.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then how many do you know only 4 options, or are you able to do them all and you can only pick 4 at a time, like you have to cycle them through? How does that work?
So you'd know 4, and you can use your ability to change into any 4.
Okay.
Any of the 4.
Cool.
Wolf would be in there as well. So yeah, quite a few options.
Let's say when you finish a long rest, you can replace one of your known forms with another eligible form as well.
Nice.
So going back to the beginning of this discussion, did you say that you can either shapeshift or you could have a companion?
Wild companion is a different thing. So
It's an and.
It's an and.
It's
Yeah,
an and.
sorry, I did say or,
Okay.
but it's and.
But
So
there is actually, for the magician, there is an extra bit. If you have a look, see
Yeah.
there, which
So
does link to wild shape.
in the
So wild companion, the bit here. So I think. Oh, it's just as a magic action, you can expend a spell slot or use of wild shape, so you can use wild shape instead for this, to cast a find familiar without material components.
I can get their very own patch.
Yes!
You can have his own patch.
You could be a snake with a patch.
Did you have a snail as a familiar?
so familiars are any CR0 creature or beast.
I would be very impressed if you could find a snail that was more than a CR0. Mega snail!
Why do I have a feeling there's an adventure out there? I'm sure I've seen some artwork for a D&D adventure where it's a giant snail with like a 10 on its back. It travels around.
That's cool.
That's got to have a CR rating of 0.
I bet it's still only like a half.
It's got movement still in speed. Minus 1 foot. Okay.
As you walk through its sort of slime trail, you get stuck.
Yeah, it's big enough.
So, beast shapes then? What are we looking at? Jungle animals, so thinking, given the list, maybe wolf, deer, that sort of stuff.
Snake.
Snake.
Yeah, I think, again, I'm trying to think in line with the character, you'd probably want to shift into a creature that would give you an advantage in a certain scenario. So a deer would give you
Speed.
speed. A snake, I guess, could go into places that,
Stealthy
smaller
lot.
places that you wouldn't get into in your normal tiefling form. And I guess, a snake could also, if it's a constrictor snake, it gives you some advantages in combat, I guess.
I think the snakes also have a swim speed, which would be useful across rivers, things
Yeah.
like that in the jungle.
Spiders are handy.
And climb.
It's fine.
So if you want to freak out the other party members,
Yeah.
you were holding the page open, and I could just see the picture of the spiders, and I was like, please hurry up and turn the page.
Not your thing.
No.
Cool, so we've got a few beast choices. What about wild companion? That feature, what sort of thing what familiar form would we summon? I like to think of it because it's narrative, isn't it?
Yeah. A parakeet.
Yeah.
Okay, the parrot.
Yeah, again, I think it's personal choice. You've got to think about, would you be sort of summoning something that could assist you in a combat scenario, or you just after companionship, just a friend. Like a useless dog that just sits on the bed watching everything go by.
That is, yeah, absolutely a character choice, not a mechanical choice at all.
Really? That's a
Yeah.
surprise.
Probably that.
And can you change the type of creature that the Find Familiar is, or do you have to lock into one type?
Every time you summon it, you can choose it. It doesn't have to stay the same. So the idea is you can dismiss it, and if you need it to go underwater, you can summon an octopus or something like that.
Most players tend to
Unless
go
you're
to
attached to your
don't they?
78-year-old dog, and that's it.
I was going to say, if you lock into an octopus, they're going to be. There's only very specific situations that they're going to be surviving more than 5 minutes.
I've just suddenly got this idea in my mind that you want a pet, you want something you can stroke and keep, but you're a bit stupid, so you choose a porcupine.
Always stroking its tail. Really?
So only spiky when they're like protecting themselves. The rest of the time all their quills are down. So they are actually strokeable. I went and saw some when we went on holiday, because we always go to a petting zoo because we're
I imagine there is still a risk of slightly
yeah.
stabbing yourself with the porcupine
Yeah.
spine.
Cute.
I honestly thought you were going to say you got someone straight me from the beaver. I honestly thought that was what would come out of your mouth. I really honestly did.
It would have been a genuine excuse for you to say it as well, rather than trying to sneak it in.
Then we could have all had a conversation about the colour of your beaver.
Thank you.
Moving on.
I would go for a parakeet.
Parakeet.
This can fly. And that is useful for touch range spells as well, isn't it? Where we find familiar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can cast your touch range spells through them. And then for companionship purposes, a monkey. Called Abubu.
Abubu?
Yeah, Abubu specifically, not just
Not Abu, because that's copyright.
that's copyright. Abubu.
Abubu.
Because it also sounds like, oh, you've got a boo-boo.
Not Abubi.
No.
No.
And he's got the monopoly on that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Boo-boo the monkey. Okay.
So those would be my go-tos.
Which is just called Boy.
Wait. You do know the familiar is still the same entity,
Yeah.
just in a different form.
That's fine.
I would have given the familiar the ability to name itself, so the parakeet would have been called.
What was the monkey going to call, Andy?
Sure. Just going to move on again.
Let's move on.
Just leave it hanging. Move on. So at level 3 we get our Druid subclass, which is where things start getting a bit more interesting, I suppose. What subclasses have we got available? And have you got any thoughts on choices?
Oh, sorry. They put the spells for the druid in the druid pages?
Much better than that.
My goodness me! Because that's what I was like, oh, I'm not going to try and flip through the book to find the spells. They were there all along. That's really, really useful.
In the last book, didn't they have a table further back which had the spell and then which classes it was
Yeah.
applicable to?
Yeah.
You had to pick the board, wasn't it?
Absolute nightmare.
So, Druid subclasses start on page 84. And we've got Circle of the Land, Circle of the Moon, and Circle of the Sea. I think Circle of the Sea is probably out straight away, isn't it? And Circle of Stars.
Yeah, Circle of the Sea, I think, is I think there's an obvious one, isn't there?
Yeah.
Is it not Circle of the Land?
I would have thought Circle of the Land.
Because you get to choose between a temperate or tropical climate as well.
Yeah. That makes sense. What
Just feels like a
does
place.
it do?
I think that makes sense. The only other option I would have perhaps considered is, if he's living out in the wild and he stares up at the night sky before going to bed, then stars might have been another option.
I think the Circle of Stars Druid is so cool as well. It's so much fun. Such a fun subclass to play.
So let's do a bit of a comparison then between Circle of the Land and Circle of the Stars. So we're at level 3, so we're only going to compare level 3 kind of features. So for level 3 Circle of the Land, what do we get? We get
Special spells.
Special spells.
Bit of tropical land spells.
Yeah, so our tropical land spells are Acid Splash, Ray of Sickness, and Web. Yeah. Doesn't feel massively kind of in leaning to our theme. And then Circle of Stars. We get a star map at level 3.
And starry form.
Starry form.
Starry form is what's really cool.
Anything else?
It's
Oh,
lands.
the Land's Aid
Aid.
as well for Circle of the Land.
What does Land's Aid do?
So, as a magic action, you can expend a use of your wild shape and choose a point within 60 feet of yourself. Vitality-giving flowers and life-draining thorns appear for a moment in a 10-foot radius sphere, centered on that point. Each creature of your choice in the sphere must make a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC, taking 2d6 necrotic damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. One creature of your choice in that area regains 2d6 hit points, so you can heal one person, so if someone's surrounded, heal them and hurt the others, I guess.
It's quite cool. Area effects, that's always cool. And then Starry Forms is the other one. Actually got to put over on the...
Yeah, so starry forms, as a bonus action, you expend one use of your wild shape, take on a starry form. You emit a bit of light as well. You can choose the archer, giving you a ranged attack. You can choose the chalice, allows you to heal. Or the dragon, which is when you make an intelligence or wisdom check, or constitution saving throw. You treat any roll of a 9 or lower on a d20 of a 10.
Very cool.
I think Circle of Stars, but I think you rename the constellations.
Yeah.
Archer, Chalice, and Dragon, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So I think you just rename them as like animal names you perhaps would know from your time in the jungle.
Big lizard.
Big lizard, little lizard, cardboard box.
Yeah. So dragon could maybe be like, I keep saying elephant, but something like that.
Yeah.
Saying like a wise
Like wise, yeah.
creature appears. A chalice could be a waterfall.
Yeah.
Water gives you life. And an archer.
Something that's...
A coconut.
A porcupine, cheers.
Squirrel,
Yes.
something like that, yeah.
Porcupine. So you still mechanically have what it says, but you've reflavoured it to match your character.
That's cool.
Yeah, because there's other animals that you use, like there's a fish, isn't there, that spits out water and knock off insects and whatever off from that.
Is there?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Or you could do a chameleon with a tongue.
Yes.
Didn't need a sound effect there, but
It was perfect.
Break out some old David Attenborough footage and find your animals.
You went to school with David Attenborough,
I was his teacher. Taught him everything he knows.
Was that part of the voice inspiration band, his character?
It's quite similar, actually, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Andy Attenborough.
I brought a Team X into class one day just to show him.
Was it your pet at the time?
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke. I'll make the punchline, though, yeah. Here it
No,
comes.
I was just buying into your constant.
He just joking.
Yes.
That was his brother, wasn't it, that did Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we're up to level 3 with Druid, which is where we thought we might want to multicast into Monk up to this point. So, should we have a look at level 1 Monk?
Let's do it.
So, what are the prerequisites for the person to multicast in? But I'm sure we get him with our big dex, won't it? Dex really high enough. So, level 1 Monk, what do we get? We get some weapon proficiencies. You can choose some skill proficiencies. Do you get that? Do you get that in multicast again? Skill proficiencies, right?
So, as a multi-class character, gain the hit point die trait from the core monk traits table and gain the monk's level 1 features, which are listed in the monk features table. So you don't get any of the proficients. Oh, you do get. So you do get a proficient.
Was that an impression of our core?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Right, so what do we get then? So we get martial arts, level 1 martial arts. Unarmored defense for the two things we get at. I think both of those lead in nicely to the theme as well, don't they, with the unarmed attacks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
And I think druids don't tend to wear armour, do they? So that goes into the unarmoured defence, that means that you get more of a bump where you wouldn't wear the armour as a druid. So that's nice.
Action back.
Yeah.
Would we, because the martial arts gives us simple weapons as well as and light weapons that have the martial weapons that have the light property. So would we go unarmed, or do we feel the flavour is more, flint, spear?
I think we could still go for simple weapons and martial weapons to a degree as well. Because you just re-flavour it. So if you want a spear, your spear is just fashioned out of flint that's tied onto a stick.
Just jumping ahead to how you'd actually play the character.
Yeah, so that means we could still do this and still get the benefit from the cast. We're not missing anything by restricting ourselves.
Just re-flavour it. Cool. So that takes us to level 4. Level 2 if we're looking at level 2 in Monk, it gives us Monk's Focus.
This is where it gets hard, isn't it? Because now you have to choose, do I take level 2 in Monk and get Monk's Focus, or do I take level 4 in Druid and get my ability score improvement, push those ability scores up? And part of that decision will be based on how you do your stats.
Yeah.
So for us right now, our stats are so high, I'd go level 2 in Monk probably. But you might, if you look at those stats now, I really, really wish I could just get another pip in dexterity. You might choose to go the other way.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at our stats. Most of them are on the even, apart from charisma and strength would be the other one. So, I mean, they're all high anyway, like you say.
Yeah.
I would be inclined to go with what you're saying, go for level 2 in Monk.
Sorry.
So level 2 in Monk gives us Monk's Focused, Unarmoured Movement, and Uncanny Metabolism. So, so Monk's Focus.
That's what were your key points.
Yeah.
They're not called key points anymore, are they? They're called focus points.
That's it. And it gives us Flurry of Blows, Patient Defence, and kind of Step of the Wind, which will fit nicely with the kind of character theme.
Yeah.
Coupled with that uncanny metabolism as well.
Yeah.
Really good.
Which is you basically can eat and drink stuff.
And you regain all your expended focus points in your roll initiative.
Which all fits very nicely.
Which would have been really nice in the last edition of the Monk, because I don't think you got that in the last one, did you?
No.
Because Max was a monk.
Yes,
Yeah.
she was a monk.
And movement increases by 10 feet with the unarmoured movement.
Yeah.
Which again just makes sense of the character, doesn't it?
See that 40-foot movement speed, which would be nice.
Nice.
So we're at level 5 at this point, so things left to do would be equipment at this point. So there's various starting equipment. We already said from the where we take 50 gold pieces.
Yep.
From the Druid class, we get a bunch of equipment as well.
Chevy.
77.
77.
Did you just remember that?
I did.
So starting equipment for Druid is leather armour. Not sure if that fits particularly the theme. Shield, sickle, druidic focus, or which could be a court staff. Explorer's pack, and a herbalism kit.
I mean, the armour, again, you could flavour it, so you're not having proper sort of stitched, crafted leather armour, but to protect yourself from the elements and whatever, you do wear the hides of animals that you've eaten.
Yeah.
Which is effectively just leather, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Just covered in badger fur.
Yeah.
I think if it was me on my own creating it, I'd probably take the starting equipment from the Druid class and, like say, just reflavour a few bits in the way I described the character.
That makes sense.
it's easy to reflavour it as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a difficult thing to do.
Some salt, pepper, a few spices.
Paprika.
Mm.
That's bad.
So what would we do with the 50 gold, 1 copper we got left over from the ground? What do you guys think from that?
Buy a musket. I don't buy a musket.
You found it off a dead Spanish conquistador at the jungle.
They're 500 gold anyway, so that ain't happening. Maybe some flint spears. A couple of them.
Throwing spears, you can throw them.
They're 1 gold piece each.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking, but in case you're wondering, I'm looking at page 215 in the player handbook, which gives you all like your weapons and.
What about the thing that you spit? Yes, the sling or the one that you like twist and then you chuck it and it ties people's legs up.
Bolas.
Bolas.
We went camping when we were kids once, and my dad had made some. They were made out of car wheel nuts.
Yeah.
They were about 3 foot of string. We were up in Remington Forest, throwing them and catching the trees. We were having great fun. And I was in the tent. I heard my brother scream. He'd forgot to let it go, and it had gone round his head, and he had these 3 dents on his body. When the car wheel nuts. And then it right in the head, and wrapped himself up in it.
That's quite funny.
It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
There's no bolus in there.
No.
No.
Try sling.
You can go for a sling.
No, sling is in there, so sling is 1 silver piece.
So we could add a sling, gives a bit of range, and you'll throw in spears.
Sling,
Spears to throw.
spears.
Mm-hmm. The other thing was 50 gold, we could add a healing potion. If we wanted that, and kind of, again, flavour it not as a potion, but as a wine or something or other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like a poultice you pull together.
I think we're there in terms of equipment and not.
I think so.
So,
Big one.
big ones, name and description. So,
Description's easy, isn't it? Because it's just George of the Jungle.
Yeah,
But
Or
tiefling.
Tarzan. But tiefling.
Yeah.
What colour tiefling?
green.
I like the idea that it's like a really deep, dark colour of whatever they would be, because they're outside in the elements. They might be under the sun or something. So over the years, because they've been living outside, their skin's like got thicker and they've actually got a lot darker.
I feel like a
In
deep
colour?
purple.
Yeah.
Deep purple.
So it's almost like that close to black kind of purple colour. So
Yeah.
it's really, so if it's at night and they're still, you're not going to really know they're there. That would be very cool.
Yeah, my mind goes elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's you know me, I like to have a joke at night, so I would probably pick a colour which is very bright and very noticeable, but he sort of thinks he's camouflaged in the undergrowth, but actually standing out like a
An orange,
yeah.
Orange tiefling. That's cool.
burnt orange colour.
You can only hide in one particular flower patch in the jungle.
Yeah, when he's at home, it's perfectly camouflaged, but
Yeah.
he's camouflaged everywhere.
It's been on the side of a mountain, but it's like clay rock, and so everything is that clean. So he's like, oh yes, I work here, and then as soon as he leaves, it's like an Oompa Loompa walking out.
So we've got, I love that.
Orange
tiefling. We've got an orange tiefling.
What's it called? He needs a name.
But again, would he have a typical name, given that
No.
he's not had any? I mean, he might not even have a language.
What if he didn't have a name? Because no one's ever given him one. So when he comes across the party, what's your name? Oh, I don't know. No one's ever given me a name before.
Could he even respond in that way? Could he speak at all? Would he have a language?
I feel like not being able to speak at all would be a limitation on playability. I feel like you'd have to learn language fairly quick, of some sort.
It's,
I
by the
suppose,
time he's
yeah.
got to the party, he's been in the town or whatever long enough to have picked up a bit. I like that. Maybe the idea that his initial kind of meeting with someone is because it would just be if he's living with apes, for example, and they're trying to get his attention, they might just scream at him. So they're like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Ah."
Yeah, that's great. What's your name? Ah.
"Yeah."
And then let his fellow party members help him find a name.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need to do this purely for impact. But I think you could add to that because I think the animals would be fairly tactile as well. So it could be
Oh,
Oh yeah. And a slap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just hitting everyone.
Yes.
He's got his headphones on.
And it was fun.
He's going to do it again.
So what we're saying is we're going to have a starting name, which is R Slap.
Yeah.
Us slap.
Okay.
I'm so using this character next week.
I put the slap in quotes so we know it's
Slap.
an action. And part of his journey would be to find a real name.
No, yeah.
Choose a name.
I think that's
Oh, that's great.
good backstory. Good
We've
stuff.
got a little bit of backstory in there as well. You can give to the DM. We've got what he looks like. We've justified every choice. We've reflavoured stuff.
What's the reason that he left the jungle to come out?
We should have said that with the tiefling choice though.
Deforestation.
Oh, no, going into jungle.
It could be like there were poachers that went into the jungle, and then originally they were going for like monkeys or something, but then they saw him and they're like, wow, this is a super rare, bright orange, never before seen creature. Put him in a box, took him out, and now he just ended up in society because like the boat crashed in the waves and he's just got shipwrecked on the shore, and now he's like, I'm now in Cornwall.
I wasn't.
Slightly waves age.
It's a new era, Ash is going to let me create, I'm sure. So he just rocks up on the shore and he's like, oh, I'm here not by my choice, but now I just have to figure it out.
I think that gives a lot of DMs. That would give your DM quite a lot to work with though, because if you've been taken and you're in a cage, I think one of the campaign or games, it was a campaign you started. There was like a festival in town. Or it could be one of the people in one of the cages at the sideshow.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it gives quite a lot.
You
of
can give some ins for the DM. Yeah, I like that.
I mean, again, I don't think there is no right or wrong, but there's another variant of that whereby poachers have come into your jungle and they've actually taken your adopted parents, and you're now out there in the world trying to find them.
And rescue them.
Yeah.
So either one.
You could even combine them. You were taken with your parents. You've managed to escape, but you know where your parents are.
Yeah, even better.
Because now you don't know how to go back to a jungle either.
Yeah, which would be illogical.
Which would be a logical
Yeah,
thing to do.
Escape from
You
the
can go home, but you don't know what home is now because you got taken alongside your parents.
just claim, I know it doesn't exist in the All Havens, but the idea that they've ended up in Cornwall or somewhere like that, so that they've got this like bright orange skin, but they took later. So, like this druid monk that turned up and they're like ripped and all veiny and super, but they got taught later because that's the people what they met.
What's your name? R.
Such.
I feel like we've got a character. It's like,
He could read none of the bloody run signs in Cornwall, so to the jungle.
Or he ended up in Wales. It's just all in Welsh. Oh. But he's still got the different one underneath, so he's got a 50-50 chance of not being able to read it anyway, because he can't read.
awesome. I feel like that's enough, I think, really, isn't it?
Oh.
To play with. So we've ended up with a bright orange tiefling named R. Slap, who is out looking for his family or looking for his way back to this jungle after being taken or escaping. He's 3 levels in Druid, an amazing stat array, a couple levels in Monk, and it fits our original theme of sort of George of the Jungle / Tarzan. I think pretty darn well.
Have we done a good job there? Well done, everyone.
Yeah,
Good work. Good work.
really.
I'd be happy to go into that character.
I think I'd be quite happy playing that character, especially with a name like R. Slap. Nice.
The next game day, all of us are just going to
Ah.
It's brilliant. I think that's where we'll wrap up the session. Thank you all very much. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
We'd just like to do a shout out to our wonderful Patreon members, starting with our Ruby tier, Alberta, Claire, Dave R, Jason, Joshua, Laura, Paul C.
Our Sapphire member, Gary. Our Emerald members, Stuart and Neil.
And over to the Diamond Geezers, we've got Ash, Bertie and John, neither of who are actually very important. We've got Chris L, who I think that's celebrity. Lizzie, Martin M, Neil, Zeke, and as of today, a brand new member. Welcome! Guess who? That's me, in case you didn't know.
And our Obsidian members, Dave F, JP, Niall, Becca, and Ethan.
And finally, the ruling council members, Crispy and Sophia.